friends, you like coffee? I love coffee and I love black coffee. And talking of coffee, it's time that we also talk a little bit about something else which is supposedly a force behind a lot of darkness in our lives, a lot of fear in our life, a lot of bad luck in our life. Let's talk about Shani, shall we? Which is looked at as some darkness causing planet in our lives. People think of that planet as evil. It has also been called malefic. It's been called as a planet which brings sorrow in our lives. It brings challenges in our lives. And it creates a lot of havoc in our lives. Now, why is it that Saturn is so important in our lives? Why is it that in spite of being so important, it is malefic? And is it important because it's malefic, or it causes unfortunate events in our life? What has Saturn been called in the ancient scriptures? And mind you, I'm never going to talk to you outside of the ancient scriptures. I will bring you well-researched material. I will bring you well-researched content, and you can depend on it. You can always go back and check up in the books that I'm going to mention here. So Saturn has been called Shani. It's been called Pangu. It's been called Krishna because it's black. It's been called Shanishwara. It's been called various names. It's been called Kona. It's been called Manda because it's slow. It's month. So what do all these names denote? Do they denote just names or the qualities? So when you call Manda or slow, this is one of the qualities of Saturn. Saturn is a ghost of planet. Why is it? Is it dark? Does it cause darkness in our lives? Or does it create those issues which actually dispel darkness in our lives? So while sipping a cup of coffee, it makes sense that we talk a little bit more about Saturn and its effects, because Saturn is as good as black coffee. I tell you, black coffee is what keeps us all alive. Saturn keeps us alive. Let me read out what in the Brihat Samhita, Varahamira, one of the very important sages who have brought astrology to us, talks about. He says, Saneshwarye Virya Yute tu Tejasa, which means if Saturn is strong at birth, then it brings wealth. It brings ornaments. So, in effect, the strength of Saturn is very important in our lives. I'll read out one more text to you. Atmadayo gagan gair bali bhirjara vattara durbalay durbala jaya viprit shane phalam, which means that a strong Saturn brings happiness and joy in our lives, and a weak Saturn is what creates havoc and creates challenge in our lives. So what is this difference between a weak Saturn and a strong Saturn? Saturn is the planet of discipline, is the planet of order. Saturn is the planet of teaching, of following laid down order. And if you don't follow laid down order, you can be rest assured Saturn will come after you. Saturn denotes slowness. Why does Saturn denote slowness? Because it is felt that you need to grow. You can't suddenly reach from one position to the other. You need to grow through your life. To acquire anything in life, you need to go through various milestones. Saturn asks you to respect those milestones. You didn't go to school from the first class directly to the 10th standard. At least I don't know of any. I know of students who have done very well and who have probably skipped 2-3 classes. But I've never seen anybody skip from the first class directly to the 10th standard. So that means that as long as you follow order, as long as you follow laid down law, as long as you follow laid down processes, as long as you stick to your values, as long as you don't divert from laid down law, Saturn is with you. The moment you divert from that, there's going to be challenge. Saturn hits at, or Saturn teaches a lesson to all those who don't respect law. laid down law. Sun lays down the law, and Saturn, in spite of being against or inimical to the Sun, but being the son of Sun, Saturn ensures that the laid down law is followed. Kalyana Varma says, and I'll read it, the Sun is his soul, Moon is his mind, his strength is Mars, while his speech is Mercury, his wisdom and happiness are in Jupiter, Venus depicts his passion, Saturn is his grief. Which means that each and every planet has been given a certain responsibility. Saturn is loyal to his responsibility. Saturn will bring you grief if you don't follow law. Saturn is the lord of all those people who are poor people, who are destitute people. Saturn also constitutes employees, fourth-class employees. Saturn also constitutes your superiors at work or authority figures. That's why Saturn also owns the 10th house. But Saturn is also a giver. That's why the sign of Aquarius, which is a sign owned or ruled by Saturn, is a sign of a pitcher pouring out, which is in support and a nourisher for others. So Saturn is a nourisher. However, Saturn is a slower nourisher. It awards you over a period of time. So if you don't deserve something, Saturn will not give you. So in that respect, Saturn is a teacher. You need to work through class, you need to work through school, you need to work through college before you will reap the fruits of your labor. Saturn wants you to do that. Saturn wants you to follow law. Saturn wants you to follow or obey orders. Saturn wants you to respect elders. Saturn also denotes old people, even old women. So without the blessings of people who are older than you, more experienced than you, and seeking their learning and the experience, Saturn will not allow you to go forward. So Saturn is asking you or pointing us towards laboring, putting in effort, learning, and achieving over a period of time. Saturn is not going to give you any shortcuts. Saturn is not a planet of shortcuts. Saturn is a long path ahead. However, the promise of Saturn is once you achieve, once Saturn gives you something, it won't take back. Those are also denoted by the rings of Saturn. What are the rings of Saturn? The rings of Saturn are nothing but it doesn't allow any meteorites or any comets or any asteroids to strike into Saturn, because those meteorites and asteroids are the ones who are forming the three rings. But at the same time, once something gets into the orbit of Saturn, to get out, it will be effort, or they may strike into an asteroid. So getting into Saturn, the realm of Saturn, as well as getting out of the realm of Saturn is going to be tough. The same way are Saturn's results. Saturn will give you results slowly, but once it gives you results, the promise is that the results will remain with you. The fruits of your labor will not be taken away from you. No other planet has the power to take away the fruits that Saturn gives you. Not a single planet. So if Saturn is the nourisher, is the giver, is the teacher, who asks you to follow the laid down rules, who asks you to follow the graded path and achieve your milestone before you achieve, and it grants you success, why would anyone consider Saturn to be malefic or giving grief? And the grief is generally to point you towards in a direction which you have not done before, or you have not followed that law, you have broken the rule, or you have not completed your responsibility. Saturn is a planet of commitment. Saturn is a planet of loyalty. If you're not loyal, if you're not committed, you cheat your spouse, you cheat the government, you cheat superiors at work, you fudge data, Saturn will come after you. If Saturn doesn't come after you in its dasha, mark my words, Saturn will come after you in its antardasha or in the prayantardasha, but Saturn will come after you. It is said in the Brihad Samhita, Sarvop karano gatasya lok narvop kara nukto narasya krutvo kara dviptan vipatsu ya kirti ralpain nasha shubhain. The whole world renders service to a man who renders service to others. Saturn expects you to serve others. Saturn expects you to follow the rule of law. Saturn expects you to achieve your milestone through a graded path. My dear friends, there is no need to fear Saturn. There is no need to think of Saturn as malefic or unfortunate. Saturn is a teacher. You respect Saturn and you respect rule of law, you follow laid down conventions, you don't go against the norms, you don't break rules, you don't cheat anyone, you be a good person, Saturn will be good to you. So if you like this video, please like it, please subscribe to the videos, more will definitely follow. And if you want to get in touch with me for any clarification or for a personal consultation, you'll find my email ID and the link below. And so till we meet some other time, thank you so much.